Life was tough for our New London Whalers in the 5th tier of the baseball pyramid last year, but at least they didn't stick us in the 6th tier. Welcome back to the Baseball Dreamland channel, where we're about to start Season 2 of the National Agreement Challenge with the New London Whalers and Out of the Park Baseball 26. The 1903 season saw the Cincinnati Reds win the top-tier National League with an 89-51 record, and the Pittsburgh Pirates survived 7 rounds to win the inaugural MLB Postseason Cup. It was a tough season for our New London Whalers, grinding out 65 wins with just 11 players on our roster. We were led by the Harrys, Harry Noyes at shortstop, and Harry Long on the pitching rubber. The promotion relegation pyramid welcomes 18 more clubs for a total of 135 competing in 1904. With the announcement of the new South Atlantic League, Class C baseball is born, and just like that, we've sunk to the 6th tier.
That's anger. He cares very deeply about things being fair.
So that's how you want to play it, old man? Eat this!
There's also a 5th league added to Class D. Class C will fill out by promoting 2 clubs from each Class D league in 1904. Meanwhile, the Class B clubs will get a bit of a breather this season, as only 2 total will be relegated to Class C. Here are all the clubs who will continue fighting to knock the Cincinnati Reds off their perch atop the pyramid. There are a ton of changes. 13 clubs earned promotion to higher tiers. The multi-league tiers realign geographically each season, so the Class A International League and Class B New England League received 2 promoted teams, while the other leagues didn't receive any. 13 clubs were also relegated to lower tiers. The Cleveland Naps and Detroit Tigers were both placed in the American Association, so they'll have to fight each other to earn promotion back to the American League this season. And let's welcome our 18 new clubs. The newly formed South Atlantic League makes up 6 of them. 6 more clubs are scattered across the Class D leagues. The Cuban League receives 5 new entrants, and the Tacoma Tigers join the Pacific Coast League. 7 teams changed their names. They may look a little different, but they're the same club as last year. Nothing to see here. Finally, 11 teams shifted leagues without getting promoted or relegated as part of the annual geographical realignment. The most noteworthy for us is the Holyoke Paperweights were moved from the Connecticut League to the Atlantic League, which means our Class D Connecticut League has been reduced to 6 teams for the 1904 season because we also lost the Bridgeport Orators via promotion. 2 of these 6 clubs will earn promotion to the Class C 5th tier this season. I'll enjoy the even shorter trips this league offers. Our longest journey during the 1904 season will be a measly 70 miles northwest to Springfield. The Postseason Cup tournament will continue to feature every club. Due to the pyramid's growth, an 8th round is now introduced. All other rules are the same: seeding by regular season record, 3-game series, market size boost to the winner, etc. My objective is still to become the first minor league club from real life to win either the National League or the MLB Cup. Will a minor league team win the Cup and end the challenge this season? I'm not exactly staying on John Shea's good side. His mood fell all the way from ecstatic to happy. My budget dropped from $8,000 to $7,200, which is tied for the lowest in the Connecticut League. He's lowered his performance expectations but added a bunch of goals to my slate. Instead of upgrading my manager, I've accepted a goal to operate in the black. 625 first-year free agents are eager to join the pyramid and make a name for themselves. The rookie free agent draft will occur in 2 phases. The first phase, encompassing 405 picks, will entitle each team in this universe to 3 picks. The draft order is determined by a lottery system that is weighted on team budgets, which is meant to mimic realistic signing patterns. The Pittsburgh Pirates have the best odds of landing the first pick with a 2.3% chance. Our odds of getting the first pick are 0.2%, or about 500 to 1. Are we feeling lucky today? The second phase will randomly distribute the remaining 220 picks to the expansion teams and the teams that are shortest on players. We will get 1 or 2 players from this phase. And here are the results of that lottery. The Class A Providence Grays land the number 1 pick. The Class A New York Highlanders and Newark Sailors will pick twice each in the top 10. The Pirates got all 3 of theirs in the first 36 picks. The New Haven Blues scored the 25th pick, Well, our first pick isn't until number 259. It's not exactly what I was hoping for, but Hartford, Springfield, and Meriden got worse draws than us. Let's just hope there are infielders available who can catch, throw, and breathe, preferably all three of those. We did score a second expansion round pick, which will bring our roster up to 15 players for the 1904 season. With the first pick of the 1904 MLB Draft, Providence selects 19-year-old outfielder Sherry McGee. This future star instantly becomes the Grays' best player and injects some serious firepower into the Class A International League. Could the Grays challenge the New York Highlanders for promotion? Rounding out the top 7 picks, Orville Overall will head to the Seattle Seawashes of the Pacific Coast League. Knapp Rucker heads to Class D Algona with the 3rd pick. Ty Cobb is selected 4th by the Class A New York Highlanders. Pete Hill is picked 5th and will head to Class B Dubuque as the color barriers are being broken throughout the pyramid. Possibly the most corrupt player in early baseball history, Hal Chase is drafted 6th by the Newark Sailors and will compete against McGee and Cobb in the Class A International League. Finally, Bill Sweeney goes to the Class A Denver Grizzlies. Within the Connecticut League, the New Haven Blues selected 23-year-old starting pitcher Mike Lynch, who's from nearby Holyoke, with the 25th pick. He's a very good pitcher for Class D. They picked another pitcher with the 206th pick. The Norwich Reds selected pitchers with the 164th and 224th picks. Finally, our turn. The New London Whalers select 22-year-old infielder Bill Shipke with the 259th pick of the draft. We needed help at second base and third base, so now we know one of those positions is covered. He's got 2-star potential and could develop into our best hitter. Miles Marriott is our second selection, taken 346th overall. The 27-year-old spark plug has a great power bat for a Class D player. This allows me to use Charlie Armbruster at catcher, first base, or pitcher as the need arises. With the 387th pick, we grabbed 22-year-old infielder Harry Welsh. He'll play third base and Bill Shipke can take second, so we have our 4 legitimate infielders now. And as a side benefit, I'm excited to see how that 85 gap power rating plays. We got 2 random players from the expansion phase. The first was 21-year-old Jay Modus. 20 contact plus 25 speed equals someone who can't hit. No complaints though. I expected a baseball player with a pulse, and I got one. One problem, his first name is unknown, and I'm not calling him Jay. So let's call him Julian. Welcome to the club, Julian. The second player gifted to us is 25-year-old infielder Will Sanford. His batting potential isn't bad, he runs well, and he could develop into a decent defensive shortstop. I could do much worse with a random player. Watch your back, Harry Noyes. I got a raise from $43 to a whopping $66 for the 1904 season.
Show me the money!
The only personnel we extended were Assistant General Manager Marco Gaspar and Manager John Fox. Gaspar is busy doing nothing at all, while Fox is off assuming control of my player strategy settings and preventing me from using two-way players.
Yes, here it is, one way.
40-year-old Ewald Gerritsen is our new bench coach. While he has no coaching experience, all of his ratings are equal or better than last year's bench coach, except for in-game running. His relationships with some of the players are a bit shaky, which is something to keep an eye on. Lawrence Farley is a huge upgrade at scouting director compared to last season. We went from all fair scouting ratings to a combination of good and outstanding. Sam Robin is a modest upgrade from last year's pitching coach. He doesn't influence mechanics as well, but is more effective at developing talent and teaching pitching. Oscar Videlis is a huge upgrade from last year. While he's weak at developing talent, he's excellent at influencing mechanics and handling aging, and he's good at teaching hitting. Lastly, Marcos Sarita is our new trainer. He's more effective at everything except preventing leg injuries. He also has 4 excellent ratings, including arm injury prevention. So our collection of personnel are far superior to last season, but their personalities clash a bit, and I've got a goal to improve staff cohesion. There was one decent bench coach available to replace Ewald Gerritsen, but he accepted a manager position with the Class C Columbia Skyscrapers, so we'll have to hold course for now. We have a trade among Connecticut League teams. Norwich gets 22-year-old outfielder Eugene Tansey, who collected 5 wins above replacement in 1903. 28-year-old Terry Rogers heads to Springfield. He's a two-way player who posted half a win above replacement as a hitter, half a win below replacement as a pitcher in 1903. We accepted a trade which sent English explorer and Reichsführer John Smith to the Superior Longshoremen. He finished 1903 a full win below replacement, and we've got a glut of center fielders. Time to say goodbye, John.
Good luck, lad. Godspeed, John.
Superior sends us 25-year-old catcher Art Dural. He posted a 95 WRC plus and .3 wins above replacement over 140 games in the Class D Northern League last season. We don't have a great need for a catcher, but he's much better hitter than John Smith, and I'm not passing up a deal that improves our roster. Are ya falling in love with him? Hope you said no, because he's been traded to Algona Brownies just 2 weeks after acquisition. Instead, we're getting 26-year-old catcher, first baseman, and trainer Chappie Johnson. Despite similar-looking ratings, he posted a 123 WRC plus and 3.5 wins above replacement for the Algona Brownies, who played in the same league as Superior. As it stands, Chappie will start at first base for us. 23-year-old catcher Ira Thomas leads an unexciting-looking Hartford Senators club. Ed Walsh dominated the Connecticut League in 1903, and the now 22-year-old looks to team up with first baseman Bill Clay for a promotion push. New Haven stocked up on pitching in the offseason. Tom Tuckey and Mike Lynch make a nice starting tandem, but can they field though? Our roster still looks weak relative to the league, but a full season of Mark Clayton and competent fielders should help us improve. Hopefully we can lean on the Killer Harrys, now Noyes, Long, and Welsh. The Norwich Reds will look to use starting pitchers Frank McLean and Ira Plank to improve upon their last place finish from 1903. Springfield ace Arthur Carboneer struggled after being acquired at the trade deadline. He's the Ponies' best hope for a winning season. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your opening day 1904 New London Whalers. Can we finish in the top 2 and earn promotion to Class C? Let's find out. Harry Long pitched great for 8 innings, but surrendered this 2 RBI single to Frank McLean in the 9th inning to blow a 4-run lead in the 9th inning. He blew a big lead in spectacular fashion last season on opening day as well. The other fun stat in this game is we attempted 6 stolen bases and got caught 6 times. Maybe we should rebrand as the New London Stationary Club. Bill Shipke had an excellent debut though, reaching base in all 4 of his plate appearances and scoring twice. John Morrison and the Hartford Senators crushed the New Haven Blues 15-3. The Meriden Silverites defeated the Springfield Ponies by a score of 9-4, earning Ed Walsh his first victory of the season. We nearly concluded April with another blown lead against Meriden, but Pop Rising induced a 6-4-3 double play from Larry Hoffman to end the 9th inning threat. We win the game 4-1 and finish April with an 8-4 record. We're holding 1 of the promotion places and sit just 1 game behind Meriden for first place in the Connecticut League. Harry Noyes is off to a blistering start, posting a 201 WRC plus with the bat. Rookie Harry Welsh is our only struggling hitter. He's mired in a 1-for-20 slump. Pop Rising leads the pitching staff with 3 wins and a 1.00 ERA. Despite walking 13 batters and striking out only 3, either he's a magician or everyone's just too confused to hit him. Another gutsy outing by Pop Rising in New Haven. He gets Sid Bertie to ground 1 to third baseman Harry Welsh, who delivers it to Chappie Johnson for the final out. That 5-2 victory brings our record to 23-17. The Meriden Silverites are building a big lead, but second place is just as good if we can hold on to it. The Hartford Senators and Springfield Ponies are only 2 games behind us. Pop Rising posted an 896 OPS in May, is hitting .333 on the season. Man does it all. Mark Clayton registered a 1.83 ERA during May and leads the team with 1.8 wins above replacement on the season. Mark Clayton pitched a brilliant game in Springfield to end the month of June, shutting out the Ponies with just 93 pitches for a 1-0 victory. The crucial win extended our lead over third place Springfield to 2.5 games. First place Meriden isn't out of reach, while fourth place Hartford are still in the hunt. New Haven, not so much. Tom Bannon led our position players with a 784 OPS in June, while Harry Long collected 4 wins and a 1.17 ERA. Harry Welsh strained his ACL, which provided Julian Mattis some playing time at second base, but he hasn't done well with it. The Meriden Silverites strengthened their pitching staff even more by acquiring 36-year-old Sadie McMahon from the Class A Baltimore Orioles. McMahon joins Meriden as their third best starter. For us, he'd be an instant ace. So yeah, maybe the league title is out of reach here. We were offered 4 trades, but none were appetizing enough to pull the trigger. We load the bases in the 6th. Charlie Armbruster grounds it to short and they mishandle the throw. Everyone is safe and we lead 2-1. That's all Mark Clayton needed to finish off the Norwich Reds as Joe Dowling is the final out. The race for second place remains close. We're 3.5 ahead of Springfield and 4 ahead of Hartford. Rookie second baseman Bill Shipke posted an impressive 882 OPS and leads our position players with 4.3 wins above replacement. Harry Long posted a 1.48 ERA and struck out 28 batters in July, but it's Mark Clayton who leads our pitching staff with 4.6 wins above replacement on the season. Pop Rising slices a base hit to right field against Hartford, driving into and completing an 8-run second inning against the Senators. It's an easy 11-4 victory, and just like that, we've overtaken the Meriden Silverites for first place in the Connecticut League. Their prized deadline pickup, Sadie McMahon, tweaked his back and took their title hopes with them. Meriden stumbled to an 11-16 August, while we bulldozed through the schedule with a 19-9 month. Tom Bannon torched the league with a 929 OPS, and Mark Clayton basically refused to lose. 6-0, 1.48 ERA. Now we just need to win 12 of our last 17, and Class C is calling. We've won 7 of our first 8 September games, while Meriden have slipped into a second-place tie with Hartford. We've got a 5-game lead on both, with 9 games to play, and our next 6 are against the Silverites and Senators. Chappie Johnson's double in the 6th inning capped a stunning rally against Ed Walsh, and we'd go on to win 10-3. We took 2 of 3 from Meriden, just like we had to. Now we head to Hartford, needing just 1 win in 3 games to clinch the title and promotion. 1 win. That's it. Easy, right? Right? Harry Noyes put the exclamation point on our league title with his only home run of the season. Pop Rising closes out our 7-1 victory, and it's time to hold a promotion party. Who is joining us in Class C? Meriden and Hartford have left it to the final day with identical 79-60 records. Meriden hosts 4th place Springfield, while Hartford travels to last place New Haven. Gus Ruland crushes a ball to the right field fence, scoring 3 Springfield runs and sending the Meriden Silverites to an 8-4 defeat. But New Haven saved Meriden with Harry Jope's go-ahead RBI double for the Blues in the bottom of the 8th inning. Hartford also falls 5-3. Mike Sullivan put Hartford in front of the tiebreaker with a 7th inning double off Ed Walsh. James Kennefick retired Thomas Manning to earn promotion for the Senators. Meriden fails to achieve promotion despite leading Hartford by 10 games on August 1st and getting 10.6 wins above replacement from Ed Walsh. New Haven cut their win total from 1903 in half in a disastrous 1904 campaign. We finish 86-54 on the season, and this is goodbye for now to Meriden, Springfield, Norwich, and New Haven, and the Connecticut League. We scored the 4th most runs in the Connecticut League and tied Meriden for the best slugging percentage with a .348 mark. However, we allowed a league-low 462 runs for a run differential of +176. Our defense improved from being the worst in the league to top 2 in all 3 defensive categories, and that made all the difference for our season. Our 3 lottery draft picks comprise half of our team WAR. Bill Shipke finished 2nd among position players in the Connecticut League with 5.2 wins above replacement. He also led the team in runs, hits, RBI, total bases, and OPS from the second base position. Miles Marriott finished 2nd on the team with 4.8 wins above replacement, hit 7 home runs, and slugged .421. Harry Welsh finished 5th with 3.5 WAR and 28 doubles. Mark Clayton finished 3rd in the Connecticut League with 7.1 pitching wins above replacement and a 2.00 ERA. He was our only pitcher not to win 20 games. Our overall most valuable player was Pop Rising, who combined 4.0 wins above replacement on the mound and 3.9 with the bat for a total of 7.9. Duluth and Fargo will both be promoted from the Class D Northern League, but who will be crowned as champion? Duluth has the upper hand and can clinch by winning at 6th place Rockford. If they fall, Fargo can force a one-game playoff with a win at home against 4th place Grand Forks. Duluth starter Harry Gehring left no doubt, pitching a one-hit shutout for his 27th win of the season. The White Sox are Northern League champs. Winnipeg, Grand Forks, Algona, and Rockford will remain in Class D despite strong records in 1904. They all had a field day against the Sioux City Sioux, sending them to a 120-loss inaugural season. Shout out to Ed Morris for a 15.4 wins above replacement season for a Superior club that only won 42 games. Now that's some next-level cruelty. The Waco Steers and Fort Worth Panthers are headed to the Class C 5th tier. Waco are league champions with an impressive 94-46 record, and Fort Worth were the only other team to finish above 500 thanks to a second straight 11 WAR season by Jim Buchanan. The Philadelphia Giants found no resistance on their way to a 113-win season and Cotton State's league championship. The Greenville Cotton Pickers will join them in Class C's 5th tier, following a 95-win season of their own. Howie Kamnitz tops the league in pitching WAR for the second straight season, but his Vicksburg club misses out on promotion again. Mike McCormick and the Holyoke Paperweights bounce back from their 7th place Connecticut League finish in 1903 and dominate the Atlantic League with 105 wins. The Manchester Textiles stay in Class D was short after being relegated last season. They'll try their hand at Class C next season. Hilario Dobo and Edward Powers powered the Jacksonville Jays to the first South Atlantic League title. The Macon Highlanders are also promoted to Class B, and I suspect both will find life in there quite difficult. The Columbia Skyscrapers are heading down to Class D's 6th tier, as are the Savannah Pathfinders after posting the Pyramid's worst record at 18-122. Rookie Pete Hill, Frank Kitson, and the Dubuque Shamrock easily win the III League and earn promotion to the Class A 3rd tier after just missing out last season. Davenport finishes bottom, but remember only 2 clubs get relegated from Class B this season, and the River Rats made the cut line. After getting relegated to Class B after the 1903 season, the Columbus Senators are headed right back up after outclassing this level to the tune of 103 wins. Terry Turner and Heine Berger both had a field day this year after modest seasons in Class A. The Shreveport Pirates also got relegated from Class A last season, and now they've become the first team in Major League Baseball history to be relegated 2 seasons in a row. Congratulations! After finishing 2nd last season, the Binghamton Bingos edged the Syracuse Stars for the New York State League title and promotion to Class A by riding the performances of Al Cabrera and George Scott. The Troy Trojans and Ilion Typewriters would have played a one-game playoff last season, but both are safe from relegation this season. Jack Thoney, Rube Foster, and the Cuban X-Giants won the New England League by 19 games and become the first Major League Baseball club to be promoted in 2 consecutive seasons. They'll play Class A ball next year. Meanwhile, the 1903 Connecticut League champion Bridgeport Orators are the second team relegated from Class B to Class C after finishing with a 55-85 record. Kansas City wins the Western League for the 2nd season in a row. Last season it was a Blue Stockings victory, and now the Kansas City Cowboys are headed to the American League after a 97-win campaign. The Omaha Rangers narrowly escaped relegation in 1903. They were not so lucky this season. After collecting just 52 wins, they're headed down to Class B. The American Association featured 2 relegated American League clubs, and the Cleveland Naps narrowly edged the Detroit Tigers for a promotion back into the 2nd tier. The newly promoted South Bend Greens looked out of place in Class A and will head back to Class B for the 1905 season after posting a 35-105 record. The Nashville Volunteers and New Orleans Pelicans are taking their relegation battle to the last day. Nashville has a 1-game lead in the easier matchup at 6th place Atlanta. New Orleans must travel to St. Louis to face the 117-win St. Louis Browns. Even if they pull off the upset, they still need Nashville to lose. New Orleans is rallying in the first, and this single by Joe Keenan makes it 4-0, and the Pelicans get their desperately needed win 6-3. Nashville trailed 5-1, but got it to extra innings for Andy Roth to deliver an 11th inning RBI single. Harry Nickens induced a 6-4-3 double play to preserve Nashville's Class A status. The St. Louis Browns lost their last game, but had long since clinched the Southern Association Championship. Emmett Hendrick and Jack Powell led them with a pyramid-best 117 wins on the season, so they're back in the American League for 1905. Despite getting a big upset victory on the final day of the season, the New Orleans Pelicans will head to Class B. Jimmy Williams and Jack Chesbrough made sure the New York stay in Class A was a short one. They guided the Highlanders to 114 wins, 40 ahead of second-place New Jersey. Concord's stay in Class A was also short. They got relegated back to Class B after a 49-win season. First pick Sherry McGee posted 9 WAR and kept Providence out of the relegation battle, but they've got a ways to go. Danny Green and the Chicago White Sox are champions of the second-tier American League and will join the National League after winning 105 games. Cy Young kept the Boston Americans in the league, and the Washington Senators will get a third season in the AL as well. The newly promoted St. Paul Saints managed to survive and will get a second season in the second tier. The Buffalo Bisons, Kansas City Blues, and Little Rock Travelers, on the other hand, are headed back to Class A. The Boston Bean Eaters are the second club relegated for the second season in a row. After starting the save in the top-tier National League, they'll play 1905 in a third-tier Class A league. Someone check out if they're cursed. Eddie Plank and the Philadelphia Athletics are champions of Major League Baseball in their first season playing in the top tier. Their 81-59 record was just 3 games in front of the Chicago Cubs. The defending champion Cincinnati Reds fell to 6th with a sub-500 record. The Brooklyn Superbas are relegated to the American League after a 55-win campaign. The San Francisco Seal defeated the Oakland Oaks at home on the final day of the season to draw even in the standings at 81-51 each. That means we'll have a 1-game playoff for the Pacific Coast League Championship. Down 2 runs in the 8th, Doc Moskaman drove a ball into the right field gap, which would score all 3 base runners and give the Oakland Oaks a 4-3 victory. Congratulations to the Oakland Oaks on winning the Pacific Coast League crown. The PCL doesn't have relegation, but the Tacoma Tigers sure do deserve it after finishing 13-119. Seattle's Harry Lumley led the PCL in batter war for the second straight season. Lastly, Habana had the best hitter and pitcher in the Cuban League, but Almendarez had the better team that finished 5 games ahead to win the Cuban League for the second straight season. Almendarez joins the Cuban X-Giants and Philadelphia Athletics as the only clubs to win league championships in both 1903 and 1904. Here are the batting leaders across all the leagues. Nap Lajoie finished with 14.7 wins above replacement, amassed 86 extra base hits and 361 total bases. Carlos Moran of Habana led baseball in hits, runs, walks, stolen bases, on-base percentage, and win probability added. Reginio Garcia of the San Francisco Cubans led the league in batting average, slugging, OPS, and WOBA. Harry Buckner of the Philadelphia Giants drove in 140 runs and led the league in doubles and OPS+. Rookie Pete Noonan of the Algona Brownies led baseball with 24 home runs and a .286 ISO figure. Class C Jacksonville Jays ace Edward Powers' 15.9 pitching wins above replacement and 15 shutouts were the best in baseball. Ball player Klinger led the league with 56 wins and 722 innings pitched. Jack Weimer of the Chicago Cubs led baseball in opponents' batting average and BABIP for the second straight season. Control artist Jim Buchanan walked just 0.6 batters per 9 and finished with a 7.8 strikeout to walk ratio. Jack Powell of the St. Louis Browns posted baseball's best 1.53 FIP and 0.79 WHIP. Condolences to Woody Thornton on walking 488 batters and allowing 58 home runs on the season. Paris first baseman Thomas Curran was the busiest fielder. Peoria shortstop George McBride scores the best zone rating of any fielder, and Hugh McMurray of Fort Worth posted the best catcher ERA. Evansville River Rats were reminded why not to use a designated hitter at catcher after he allowed 243 passed balls. The Omaha Rangers tried to use left fielder Harry Walsh, who's not my Harry Walsh, at shortstop, and they got him to commit 170 errors.
And now for something completely different.
It is time for the second annual Major League Baseball Cup. This tournament features all 135 clubs in the baseball universe, which is now enough for an 8th round. It's effectively a preliminary round this year, but it will continue to grow into a full-fledged first round, so I'm officially calling it that out of the gate. With the clubs still seeded based on their regular season records, this is basically the worst of the worst. In a fitting highlight for a round with the worst performing teams, the South Green Bens advanced to the second round via walk-off wild pitch. No surprises here, Little Rock and Milwaukee advance as you'd expect. The New Haven Blues require a third game but get past the All-Cubans. Time for all the clubs to join the tournament for the second round, which features 128 clubs. This round will feature an All-American League affair between the just relegated Buffalo Bisons and the Boston Americans. The Little Rock Travelers, just relegated from the American League, will travel to New York to take on the Highlanders, who just got promoted to it. With no score in the 14th inning of Game 3, Bob Tarleton drills one off the left field wall, and that's an RBI triple. Class D Monroe would score again and complete the upset of the Portland Browns, making Bob Tarleton a local hero. Class D had the PCL's number in this section as the Winnipeg Maroons swept the Sacramento Senators. We've drawn the Atlanta Crackers, who finished 6th in the Class A Southern Association. It's a tough draw of a club with mostly 2-star players and 23-year-old Tom Doherty at the front of its rotation. Unfortunately for us, third baseman Harry Welsh has a dead arm and will miss the first 2 games of the series. Given what transpired last season, I'm keeping expectations so low you'd need a shovel to find them. Tom Doherty's second inning RBI single put the Crackers in front 3-0, and Doherty finished the job himself, pitching a 4-hit shutout using just 79 pitches. In Game 2, Atlanta broke the scoreless tie by scoring on a wild pitch in the 8th inning. We mustered a base runner in the 9th, but pinch hitter William Dalton popped out to end the game. On one hand, this series was highly competitive with both games remaining in the balance until the end. On the other hand, we posed no run-scoring threat to Atlanta, and they made our lineup look like we forgot to read the scouting reports. We gave it our all, but the talent difference between our squad and Class A showed, so our 1904 season is over. Atlanta will face the Birmingham Barons in the third round. There were no huge surprises in the rest of this sectional, unless you count the Class C Augusta Tourists walking off the Class B Davenport River Rats in Game 3. Bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning of Game 3 for Springfield, but it's a ground out to second base and Bloomington escapes. Another quiet sectional of results here. There are no National League or American League clubs present, so someone from the lower league's gonna make a deep run. Top of the 12th of Game 3 in Toronto, 18-year-old Bill Sweeney drills one off the right field fence, which puts the Denver Grizzlies up for good. The Boston Americans easily defeat the Buffalo Bisons in the Battle of the American League. Meriden gave the St. Louis Cardinals a good scare, but their Game 3 comeback fell short. The Norwich Reds fell to the Amsterdam Gloversville Johnston Hyphens. Come on, where are the upsets here? Top of the 9th in Manchester, where the Class D Textiles score a stunning and convincing sweep of the National League's Brooklyn Superbas. Brooklyn caps their 1904 season by getting relegated from the National League and eliminated from the MLB Cup in the second round against a Class D club that likely uses fabric softener as their secret weapon. Brooklyn didn't just lose, oh no, they got steamrolled. And let's be real here, the buttoned-up Textiles didn't just win by accident. They deserved it and earned their moment in the sun. Brooklyn, not so much. Pittsburgh is looking to close out Utica. Utica passes on the double play to bring it home. Safe! The Pirates advance! The Hartford Senators are the only Connecticut League team to advance to the third round. The Philadelphia Phillies advanced as well, and they're on a collision course with the Pirates. Congratulations to Billy Meal of the Fargo Browns, who completes a no-hitter by getting Ed Nadinger to fly out to left field. The Chicago White Sox, St. Paul Saints, and Philadelphia Athletics all win in the top half of this sectional, leaving Fargo with a tough road ahead. Dayton has the bases loaded in the ninth. Leon Foy dribbles one to the pitcher who comes home for one and a first for two, and the Baltimore Orioles escape. They'll face the New York Highlanders, who needed 15 innings to dispatch the Little Rock Travelers in Game 2. The Syracuse Stars advanced to the third round with a walk-off win against the Nashua Millionaires. It is time for the third round with 64 clubs remaining. We've got an All-American League battle between the St. Paul Saints and the Chicago White Sox. The American League's Kansas City Blues travel to Chicago to face the Cubs. The Washington Senators have tied the game, and now Ed Delahanty singles to left, scoring the runner from second and knocking out the Rochester Broncos. They'll face the Cincinnati Reds next, who swept the Nashville Volunteers. The Winnipeg Maroons win again to keep Canada in the competition. The New York Giants won a tight 3-game series against the Class A Cleveland Naps. The Birmingham Barons sweep the Atlanta Crackers out of the Cup. The Wheeling Stogies are down to their last out in a 1-0 game. Mike Kelly grounds it to shortstop, and the Providence Grays advance. They'll face Jersey City, who just destroyed the Sioux City Sioux 24-1. The Class B Troy Trojans score a minor upset over the Class A Milwaukee Brewers. Both Boston clubs advance are a one-more series win away from a fifth-round derby. The Hartford Senators are the last hope for the Connecticut League, and that hope was just extinguished by the Duluth White Sox. More chalk in this quartile, but it's clear that a PCL or Class A club will advance to the round of 16. 5 more Class D clubs are eliminated here. The New York Highlanders blocked Baltimore from promotion out of the International League, but the Orioles have their revenge in the Cup. The AL champion Chicago White Sox and NL champion Philadelphia Athletics both win to set up a monster fourth-round matchup. The Class B Columbus Senators knock off the Class A Toledo Mudhens. The New Orleans Pelicans get 3 runs in the 15th to eliminate the Lowell Tigers. It's time for the fourth round. 7 clubs remain from the National League, 4 from the American League, 13 from Class A, 3 from Class B, 2 from Class D, and 3 from the Pacific Coast League. We've got the Cincinnati Reds at the Washington Senators, Boston Beaneaters at the St. Louis Cardinals, and the matchup between the American League and National League champions. Lou Drill pinch hitting in a 9th-inning tie. It's past the shortstop, and the Washington Senators win a thriller against the Cincinnati Reds. Troy is looking to close out Kansas City, but Louis singles through the hole. Doc Nance is coming around to score, and he's safe. The Kansas City Cowboys win a thriller. The Denver Grizzlies have Boston on the ropes. Hope Ferris flies one to left field, and hope is lost because the Americans are out. Both Boston franchises are eliminated, while both St. Louis franchises advance. The Class B Grand Rapids Orphans score an upset over the Class A Birmingham Barons in the 11th inning of Game 3. The Louisville Colonels have the winning run in scoring position. It's up to Patrick Bohannon, and he strikes out swinging, and the Los Angeles Angels advance. The Peoria Distillers have him loaded and need something from Danny Friend. He ain't got a friend after that strikeout. The Seattle Seawashes advance. The Pirates and Phillies both advance again, and the Chicago White Sox narrowly defeat the Philadelphia Athletics to earn some bragging rights for the American League. 16 clubs remaining. The defending champion Pittsburgh Pirates are still alive and face their National League rivals from across the state. The final Pacific Coast League teams face each other, with the Angels looking to clinch their second straight quarterfinal berth. The Class A Kansas City Cowboys are looking to repeat their semifinal run from last year's Cup. Will one of the 9 original minor league franchises spoil the save by winning the Cup? The St. Louis Browns may have spent the season in Class A, but that didn't stop Dick Padden from walking off the Washington Senators. It's official. Kansas City cannot be killed. It's another comeback walk-off for Mike Grady and the Cowboys. Can their Western League counterparts do it too? Charlie Jones can't get the base runners home, and the Denver Grizzlies fall to the St. Louis Cardinals. The New York Giants, Chicago White Sox, and Chicago Cubs all knock out regional league competition. The Pittsburgh Pirates win the Battle of Pennsylvania. The Seattle Seawashes defeat the Los Angeles Angels to become the last PCL team standing. It's quarterfinal time. The Kansas City Cowboys and Seattle Seawashes can end the challenge, but they'll have to defeat 3 higher tier clubs to do it. We have 2 juicy quarterfinal matchups. First, a clash of Missouri clubs will unfold with the St. Louis Cardinals traveling across Missouri to visit the Kansas City Cowboys. Then the Cubs and White Sox will initiate their Windy City rivalry. The Missouri series went 3 games and winning wasn't enough for the Cardinals. They were out for Cowboy blood and Mike O'Neill got some. The St. Louis Cardinals lassoed the Cowboys by a Game 3 score of 14-4. But we won't get an all St. Louis semifinal as the Browns get swept handily by the New York Giants. Off to Chicago where the White Sox are down to their final out. Frank Isbell grounds it to short and the Cubs have advanced to the semifinals. The Pittsburgh Pirates sweep the Seattle Seawashes to become the only club to make the semifinals of the MLB Cup in both seasons. Whether they go back-to-back is yet to be seen. What is for certain? This save officially continues for the 1905 season.
And there was much rejoicing.
The National League sure flexed its muscles in this tournament as they boast all 4 teams remaining. The St. Louis Cardinals traveled to New York for the first semifinal series against the Giants. The defending champion Pittsburgh Pirates head to Chicago to take on the Cubs. Charles Moran's third hit of Game 2 made it 7-2 St. Louis in the 7th, and the Cardinals fly into the finals. The other series goes to the 3rd game, but the Chicago Cubs clobber the Pittsburgh Pirates in that one. The Cardinals win 3-2 and 8-2. The Pirates win 7-3 in Game 2, but the Cubs handled them in Games 1 and 3. Our 1904 Cup final features 2 clubs from a familiar modern-day rivalry, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. One will join the Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates, and Philadelphia Athletics as our champions of 1903 and 1904. The other will get the dubious honor of being on the losing end of this historic showdown. The second-place Cubs look far superior in terms of talent, boasting an infield of Frank Chance, Johnny Evers, and Joe Tinker. The Cardinals finish 7th and are led by future star infielder Dave Brain and outfielder Homer Smoot. St. Louis had a fairly easy road until an impressive sweep of the New York Giants in the semifinals. The Cubs beat the Giants too, but they were the ones from Class D Dallas. They've dispatched the American League champion White Sox and 1903 Cup champion Pittsburgh Pirates in the last 2 rounds. Now it's time for the final series in Chicago with a market-size boost at stake. Johnny Evers smacked 4 hits in Game 1, including this 2-run single in the 6th. Cubs take it by a score of 7-2. Jack O'Neill collected 4 hits of his own in Game 2, with this RBI single making it 5-3 Cardinals, and they'd win 8-3. Jack Taylor's 5th inning double down the right field line would score 2 Cubs and put the Cubs ahead 4-0. Now holding an 8-4 lead, Taylor retired Cardinals first baseman George Barclay to seal the 1904 MLB Cup championship. The Cubs outscore the Cardinals 21-14 en route to the series win, with St. Louis committing 10 errors over the series. Johnny Evers and Jimmy Slagle led the Cubs' fearsome run-scoring attack. Congratulations again to the Chicago Cubs on their Cup title. And another congratulations to the Philadelphia Athletics on winning the National League title and sitting atop the promotion-relegation pyramid. As for our New London Whalers, 1904 was a good season, sort of. The good news is we got promoted and aren't stuck with Class D for another season. The bad news is we're back where we started, in the 5th tier. New foes seek to crush our dreams in Class C, but that's a story for my next video, which will cover the 1905 season. That's a wrap. Please put a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified when the 1905 video releases. Or if you can't wait, I got other content as well.